Hi guys, I'm Alex. Thanks for clicking and welcome to this lesson on good versus well. These are two very common words in English and we often use them to talk about our states, our feelings, to describe actions. And you might be wondering, what's the difference between the two? Which one is an adjective? Which one is an adverb? Is it possible for one of them to be both? This is what this lesson is about today. So if you've ever wondered, should I say I'm good, or they played well, or they played good? This is the lesson for you. So today I have three different situations. Each of them has a question and an answer. And let's see if you can tell me, do you say good or well in this situation? Okay, number one, how are you? Probably the most common question that you can ask. And do you answer with I'm good, or I'm well, or are both possible? Well, this actually depends on the person's intention with how are you. Are they asking about your emotional state, or are they asking about your physical state? If you are asking about a person's emotional state, normally we say, I'm good. If you're asking about their physical state, basically are they sick, then generally we say well for something that relates to your physical health. So in this situation, both are actually possible. So you can say, yeah, I'm good. I'm pretty well. I'm pretty good. Most of the time we say good because we mean, again, that we are emotionally well. When a person asks you, how are you? They're asking about your emotions more often than not. Now, you might say, wait, hold on. But well, I've heard that well is an adverb. Well only modifies actions. That's not actually true. Well is both accepted if you look in any dictionary as an adjective and as an adverb. So good and well. Good is an adjective. It's an adjective. It can only modify nouns. It can only modify things, people, places, things. Okay? Well is an adverb, but it's also accepted as an adjective in English. Okay, let's look at the second situation with this information. So the question is, did you see the game? Yeah, they played good, or yeah, they played well. Well, you might have heard many native English speakers say this, or if you've watched the movie, you might have heard this too, that they say, yeah, they played good. This is actually incorrect because remember, good is an adjective, which means it only modifies nouns. It modifies things, people, places. Here, we are modifying a verb. So the verb is played. You are describing how they played, the quality of their play. So here, you have to say, well. Okay, so if you're modifying a verb, you have to use well, because well is the only one of the two which is an adverb. Okay, finally, you look sick. Are you okay? I don't feel good. I don't feel well. Okay, in speaking, both of these are accepted. Both of these are used. In usage, you can use either one. However, grammatically, the one you should be using is well, since well, as we have said, refers more to your actual physical health. Okay? So in this situation, try to use well more often than good. If you say good, no problem. Everyone says good to this question too. It's also possible. However, for questions of physical health, please stay with well. For questions of emotional state, you should be using good, but again, well is also accepted. And I'm just going to circle these two since I circled these two as well. Okay, guys, so if you'd like to test your understanding of this knowledge, as always, you can check out the quiz on engVid.com. I'm sure you'll do well, good. You tell me. Good luck and take care.